I just did a super long podcast with Tim Sweeney, the CEO of Epic Games, who created Fortnite. He created Unreal Engine, a lot of interesting video games, like revolutionary video games. So I don't know if you know, but Fortnite is this gigantic video game where people go into an online world and they shoot stuff. It's fun. It's not like Call of Duty, intense, militaristic, like raw, real kind of shooting. It's more fun shooting at each other. But at first I was skeptical. Like, is that a good way to hang out with friends? But then I got to do it with people that I'm actually friends with in physical reality.
Yeah.
And you get to hear each other's voice, and you just talk and talk shit about each other together. It's basically a phone call, honestly, with some visuals. It's not about the visuals, it's about the phone call, and it just makes it a little more convenient to connect regularly.
Yeah.
But I think you do need to remember that all of that only works if you're consistently returning to physical reality. In this case, like taking the quote unquote guy trip, not the Brokeback Mountain style, but just friends, just friends, a trip out in nature together, like dudes on a hunting trip or just fishing or just hanging out in physical reality together. It's really a fun, like, we should not forget the importance of that.
You talked earlier about loneliness. I think that got brought up at some point, but I do think that's that's a problem that's caused a lot of our symptoms, is that we are all like very lonely. Even though we all seem to be so well connected digitally, we are all so lonely. You got to think, I mean, Modern Warfare 2 was a big thing. I was supposed to be in class of 2010. So you can think, like, when I was in whatever grade, 8th grade or whatever, Call of Duty was like the thing. I've certainly, like, trust me, I'm not saying that I'm right in this space of digital immersion with anybody else. Like, I've been there and seen it and done, but I've wasted who knows how many hundreds of hours on Modern Warfare 2. And like, I really built some great friendships from it. There's a place for all that stuff. It's just like, we have this innate responsibility to, again, it just goes back to talking about our founding fathers and the way this country was created and the importance and the importance of what it did for the world. And my understanding is that it was the first time ever that people got together and agreed that, like you said, every man was equal because they were created in the image of God. They had unalienable rights that no government could take away from them. And that's really important. Like, there won't be Fortnite if we don't worry about that. And honestly, like, just the collapsing in our structure with the mental health with our youth and the suicide rates with our blue collar workers and all these kind of things we've touched and talked about, like, those are all just things. We just need more time together in real life to fix those problems. Those are just things, like I said, I make the joke, but like there's never been one there's never been one dispute with my wife that I've been able to figure out how to fix through a text message, or like, it takes being in person with people and like having human connection to fix any problem and to heal anything, And so it's difficult. It's like, it's not anybody's fault that we're like that. We're not even able to really get to know each other and understand each other through the internet. Like, we almost have to be together in person to even just get each other's point of view and perspectives on things. And,
Yeah, fuck the division that the internet creates, honestly. Like, the left and the right it's been kind of a nightmare for me just to watch, because I see the very simple reality that we're in it together and that there's a lot more commonality between people. It seems cliche to say, but it's like, now that needs to be said more than ever. Because when you look on X, it feels like everybody's divided, but we're not.
Well, and people are always going to think differently too. Like, just in our structure and the way we, again, it's like that. It goes back to that Jordan Peterson lecture about, I think, in Maps of Meaning, where he talks about people who think more conservatively or more liberally about things. Like, it's been applied to politics, but it's based more in psychology than anything. Like, some people are going to think more inside the box and some people are going to think more outside the box, but we have to have both in order to have a healthy society. Like,
oh, and also the thing that bothers me, your song Richmond, north of Richmond, a lot of people, so a pretty even split, people on the left and the right in terms of friends of mine, and sadly they've drifted towards the extremes a bit. Those on the left definitely have developed a case of Trump derangement syndrome. Those on the right seem to think that every person on the left is a kind of radical leftist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like hilarious to listen to people talk. It's like everybody's lost their mind, it feels like. But also on top of that, people on the right see Trump as this savior, as this figure who could do no wrong, who's going to restore freedom in America and all, continue. You can do a full list of really positive things. And to me, he's yet another rich man north of Richmond. Biden, Trump, it's all the same thing. Now, some might be able to do more good than others, but ultimately they're in positions of power, and power corrupts. And those in those positions often forget about the everyday person, the working class, and they leave them behind. Ultimately, serve the people that are close to them, and sometimes serve themselves to maintain power, to grow their power. I think the good thing you can say about them is and I could say that about both Donald Trump and Joe Biden, is that they really love their family. I could say that one of the things that I love about both people is that they genuinely love their family. And like, it was always heartwarming to me to see how much Joe Biden loves his family.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, just do anything for his family. And the same is true for Trump. And that just reminds you that they're human beings. And yeah, all that to say is, like, we need to see the humanity in each of us. And to some degree, always distrust the people in power.
The power that people have only exists because we allow it, whether willingly or just through our own negligence. But I think that's the important thing is like I said, there's always more of us than there will be of them. There's always more nobodies than there ever will be people at the top. And we just have to figure out what to do with that and how to. And I think this is, like I said, a short window of time to where we can still figure that out,